Joining the Magic Guild. After taking a morning bath, I was just lounging around in my room when I suddenly remembered Barth saying he had something to talk to me about. I went down to the first floor and found Barth wiping down a table in the dining hall. "Morning, Barth. You said you wanted to talk. What's up?" "Hey, well, have a seat. It's about your cooking. Alan, you said cooking was a hobby, but were you a professional chef?" "No, I've never been a chef. It's just a hobby I've been doing for a long time." "For a hobby, you've got some serious skills. Pretty impressive for a young guy." "Well, it's my only hobby, so I'm always studying it." "Right, about the food. Yesterday, I was floored by your cooking. I had no idea food that delicious even existed." "You think so? The dinner I had here the day before yesterday was amazing too, just as good." "No, any cook at a high-end inn or restaurant can make that stuff. Your cooking was different, Alan. It was truly delicious." "I think you just feel that way because it was something new to you." "Hey, I consider myself a real cook. I trust my own palate." "Right, you're right. Sorry, I misspoke." If I had to choose between Barth's cooking and what I made yesterday, I'd pick yesterday's meal too. "That doesn't matter. What matters is I want to make that food my own. Please teach me how to cook." "Teach you? Weren't you watching right next to me yesterday?" "Yeah, but I couldn't see all the fine details. I could probably make something similar, but I don't get the little tricks. As a cook yourself, Alan, you know it's those little tricks and details that often make or break the flavor. I want to master yesterday's dishes perfectly." I see his point. That's often the case with cooking, and looking at his kitchen, I can tell Barth is the type who wants everything to be perfect. Of course, I'm not asking you to teach me for free. I'll make your stay here free. I'll even refund your deposit. Stay for a month, 2 months, whatever you need. Whoa, that's not right. As an innkeeper, I don't think that's a good idea. If we stayed for a month, the lodging cost would be 26,250 Ginny. A recipe is a cook's lifeblood. Your recipes are worth that much, Alan. Come to think of it, Mr. Talls paid 5,000 Ginny for a simple pudding recipe. And, if you're willing, I'd love for you to teach me some other recipes too. You have more, don't you? Besides the Encyclopedia of Earth Cuisine, I have tons of recipes for popular dishes from the Empire. Nanome's memory probably holds over 10,000 recipes. Yeah, I have a lot, but this country doesn't have many of the seasonings my country had, so there's a limit to what I can replicate here. I see. Like that soy seasonings, huh? But you do have some you can make. Please teach me those. Should I accept this offer? To be honest, not having to worry about lodging costs would be a huge help. All right, I don't mind teaching you, but only when I have free time. It'll probably be in the evenings or at night. Of course, I wouldn't ask for more. And one more thing, you don't need to refund the deposit we already paid. I like this inn. It would feel wrong to get everything for free. All right, I'm glad you like the inn. By the way, what do you do for a living? I'm an adventurer. Oh yeah? What rank? C rank. Whoa, C rank at your age. That's amazing. You know, I used to be an adventurer myself when I was younger. I saved up money from adventuring and opened this inn. Really? What was your rank? A rank. Impressive, huh? You wouldn't think it to look at me, but I was pretty famous back in the day. That's incredible. I just became an adventurer, so there's a lot I don't know. I don't have any questions right now, but if something comes up, will you help me out? You bet. Ask me anything. When did you start? 3 days ago. 3 days ago? You really are brand new. I've never seen someone get C rank right out of their placement exam. You must be really skilled. I guess so. Well then, I'll start teaching you tonight. I'll even write down the ingredients and some of the tricks on paper for you. It felt like the least I could do. Whoa, really? That'd be a great help. I'm looking forward to it. But I'll be going to the market this afternoon to buy supplies, and I probably won't be able to get any blackbird meat. Blackbirds are rare and hard to hunt. Any other kind of chicken would work for the meat, but does that mean more fried chicken and cutlets today? What time are you going to the market? Around 2 o'clock. If I go too early, they won't have all the fresh ingredients out yet. A market, huh? That sounds really interesting. I always imagined shopping for supplies was a morning thing, but on a planet without advanced logistics, it might be normal. I can make it if it's around 2. I should be able to finish my business at the Magic Guild in the morning. Hey, can I tag along to the market? Of course you can. Great. In that case, Alan, you can decide tonight's menu. You're the only guests we have at the moment anyway. Well, it'll depend on the ingredients. Is the market far from here? Nope, just a 20-minute walk. Just then, Clelia and the others came down from the second floor. All right then, Alan, I'll see you around 2. Barth headed to the kitchen to prepare breakfast.
What's happening around 2, Alan? I told Clelia and the others about the conversation I just had with Barth. Amazing! We get to eat your cooking every day again. I don't think it'll be every day, and it won't be my cooking, it'll be Barth's cooking that I taught him. But it'll taste the same as when you make it, right? Well, I plan to teach him so that it will. After breakfast, we took a short break and then headed to the Magic Guild, arriving at around 9 o'clock. As expected, when we entered the guild, there was no one there except for the young woman at the reception desk. I've been waiting for you, Chief. The people I told you about yesterday are here. The girls suddenly shouted for the chief. Normally, you'd go get them. A door opened immediately, and a woman who appeared to be the chief entered. It seemed she was in the next room. She was a rather beautiful woman in her early 30s, quite tall, probably around Elna's height, with stunning blonde hair. Lily, in these situations, you come and get me. Honestly. My apologies. You must be the clients. I've been briefed on the matter. We haven't decided to make a request just yet. Of course, I understand. I am Carla, the chief of the Gotanya branch of the Magic Guild. I'm Alan. I'm Leah. I'm Elna. And I'm Lily. Lily chirped cheerfully from behind the counter. This looks like it might take a while, so let's sit. We sat at the only table set in the guild. For some reason, Lily also came out from behind the counter and sat with us. Let's get right to it. I've set the prices for your request like this, she said, sliding a piece of paper toward me. It was a list of the magic I had requested with prices written next to them. The prices varied widely, from 500 Ginny for the cheapest to 2,000 for the most expensive. It wasn't an amount I couldn't pay, but 2,000 Ginny just to see a spell was a bit painful. What's the reason for the difference in price? Spells that many people can use are cheaper, while spells that few people can use are set at a higher price. The difference in the number of users is roughly proportional to the price of the grimoire. In other words, spells from cheap grimoires have many users, and spells from expensive grimoires have few. Of course, there are also popular spells, so it's not always a hard and fast rule, but that's the general idea. And the people who can afford expensive grimoires are usually wealthy. They won't accept a job for a low fee. I see, so that's how it works. On this list, how many can I see right away? By right away, I mean within a few days. Let's see, this one, this, and this, Carla said, circling items on the price list with a pen. Water magic. Water ball, 500 Ginny. Light magic. Light, 500 Ginny. Light ball, 500 Ginny. Light arrow, 750 Ginny. Light wall, 750 Ginny. Heal, 1,000 Ginny. That's fewer than I expected. Indeed, spells you already know like Fireball, Flame Arrow, and Wind Cutter are quite popular among mages. They're very practical. Over half of our guild members use those spells. So in a town with so few guild members, this is the best we can do. I see. When I thought about it, a water ball was probably just a water version of a fireball. I felt like I could probably figure it out with a little practice without even seeing the spell. Considering that, the only spell on this circled list that I probably couldn't figure out on my own was Heal. It seemed ridiculous to pay 500 Ginny to see a spell I could likely manage myself. I've thought it over, and I'd like to cancel the requests for these spells. I borrowed the pen from Carla and put X's next to the circles she had made. Did she just click her tongue at me? I looked up and met Carla's eyes. Is something wrong? No, not at all. She had a calm expression, giving no hint that she had just clicked her tongue. She just clicked her tongue, didn't she? Yes. It seems she's not quite the person she appears to be. I went on to cross out other spells on the list that I thought I could manage on my own. By the time I was done, about 2/3 of the spells on the list were crossed out. I apologize for canceling so suddenly, but the prices were higher than I anticipated and it's become a bit tight budget-wise. No, please don't worry about it. We can show you heal in the near future, but for the other spells, it would have to be when a guild member who can use them comes to town. Is that acceptable? About that, we're not residents of this town. We're just traveling through. We plan to stay for about another month, but our plans after that are undecided. I was wondering what to do. It would probably take at least a month for anyone to respond to the request I posted at the Adventurers Guild anyway. In that case, it's also possible for us to contact you when a mage capable of the requested spell comes to town and the request becomes possible. You could then make the request on a case-by-case basis. Of course, we would charge a 10% commission on the request fee for our trouble. Ah, that would be very helpful. Lily mentioned you were interested in the guild member discount. I was considering it, but I think I'll hold off on becoming a guild member for now. If I could only see the heal spell, the membership fees for the 3 of us would put us in the red.
I see. That's a shame. It wasn't just polite words. Carla looked genuinely disappointed. Also, I'd like to ask about magic tools, if that's all right. Of course. What would you like to know? I want to know what kind of magic tools exist. Is there some kind of reference material I could look at? We have some. Lily. Lily went to the reception desk and brought back a sheet of paper. When she showed it to me, it was a list with the names of magic tools, brief descriptions, and their prices. There were all sorts of tools listed, like heating magic tools, refrigeration magic tools, and lighting magic tools, but the mixer magic tool I thought of yesterday didn't seem to be on it. Out of curiosity, how much would it cost to request the creation of a magic tool? Well, it varies greatly depending on the function. What kind of magic tool did you have in mind? Cooking is a hobby of mine, and I was thinking, instead of mixing ingredients by hand, it would be nice to have a magic tool do it. A magic tool would be faster and easier. Cooking, you say? I've never heard that idea before. Are you talking about mixing things that are close to liquid? Yes, specifically things like eggs and oil. In that case, the development and prototyping cost would probably be around 60,000 Jenny. It costs that much? Yes. For a magic tool with no precedent, we inevitably have to go through many rounds of prototyping. We would need at least that much to make it feasible. I see. That's unfortunate. For 60,000 Jenny, I'd rather just train my arms. Another option is to make it yourself, which would cut down the cost considerably. What? Is it possible to make your own magic tools? Well, I was joking, but theoretically, if you wanted to, you could. Does that mean you can teach me how to make them? If you become a guild member, I can teach you. For a fee, of course. How much would it cost? The basic magic tool creation course is 50,000 Jenny. It goes without saying, but simply taking this course doesn't guarantee you'll be able to create the liquid mixing tool you mentioned, but it is theoretically possible. It wasn't that I was obsessed with the mixer. I was interested in the mechanics of magic tools themselves. 50,000 Jenny was steep, but this was something I desperately wanted to study. Leah, don't worry about the money, Alan. It's what you want to do, right? Our lodging is free now, so there's no problem. Do as you like. Really? Thanks, Leah. In that case, I'd like to request that course. Just for you, Alan? Then that will be 500 Jenny for the guild registration fee, and you'll also need to take a placement exam. Is that acceptable? Understood. I paid the 5 silver coins, and Lily brought over a paper with the guild regulations written on it. I guess they don't give an explanation like at the Adventurers Guild. Now then, let's head to the exam hall. Ever since I agreed to become a guild member and take the course, Carla had been smiling. Carla and the 3 of us headed to the exam hall. Apparently, it was the same building where the Adventurers Guild conducted its placement exams. They were borrowing the space. When we arrived at the Adventurers Guild, Carla said something to the receptionist and then led us directly to the room used for placement exams. Now, please hit that target with all the spells you know. The test was similar to the magic aptitude test at the Adventurers Guild. I stood at the line in front of the target. Having to hold back was such a pain. First up, fireball. Let's see. Close my eyes and wait for about 10 seconds.
Oh, right, I need to get my arm in position. Fireball, launch. The ball of fire hit the center of the target without any issues. Huh? Carla looked surprised. Did I mess something up? Crap, I completely forgot to say the spell's name. I've never said it out loud before, so it didn't even cross my mind. It didn't seem to be a problem, so I continued. Flame arrow, air bullet, water. I took my time, launching them one by one at the target. I decided to skip saying the spell names. It didn't seem necessary, and honestly, it felt kind of embarrassing. When I hit the target with water, she looked surprised again. Come to think of it, when Clelia used water, it just gushed out. Maybe that was the correct way. By the way, I held off on Windcutter. I can't use the proper version like Elna does, so I just have to fudge it somehow. That's all. Lily told me you could also use Windcutter. Actually, I'm still practicing it. I was just trying to look good when I said I could use it. My apologies. I see. I can use it as well, so I could teach you if you'd like. No, I appreciate the offer, but I want to figure it out on my own. Understood. In that case, the placement exam is concluded. Frankly, I'm astonished. I never imagined you were such a skilled user. Your magical control was superb. To be so young, it's truly impressive. I can certify you as B rank without any reservations. What? B rank right away? Unlike the Adventurers Guild, the Magic Guild doesn't have a C rank cap on placement exams.
I see. Thank you. Not at all. I'm pleased to welcome someone with such talent to the Magic Guild. Welcome to the Magic Guild, Alan. It's a pleasure. Afterward, we return to the Magic Guild to discuss the next steps. First, regarding your request, you want to see the heal spell, but I'm unsure how best to arrange it. It's not as if an injured person will conveniently appear. In that case, how about I cut my arm with a knife and you have someone heal it? Alan, while the heal spell can certainly treat injuries, it can't completely mend them. It can fully heal minor cuts and scratches, yes. However, since you are paying for this, I want you to see the full extent of what it can and cannot heal. I see. That would certainly be more helpful. But aren't you working part-time at the clinic, Chief? How did you know that? Lily silently stood up and started to head for the back room. Lily, wait, you've revealed top-secret information to an outsider. You say it's top secret, Chief, but everyone in town already knows. It's not my fault. I have it on record that I'm doing that work as a volunteer. The Chief trapped Lily's head between her fists and started grinding her knuckles into her temples. Gah, that hurts. I'm sorry. I won't say it again. I won't say it again. I promise. If you go blabbing again, you'll regret it. I understand. She returned to her seat, and we continued our discussion. Well, if you already know that much, there's nothing to be done. By the way, the course is scheduled for 4 hours a day over 20 days. How does that fit with your schedule, Alan? Mornings would be best if possible. Mornings work well for me too. Huh? You're the one teaching the course, Chief? That's right. I was appointed Chief more for my skill in crafting magic tools than for my magic. In that case, I'll tell the clinic to contact me if a suitably injured person comes in during our course. We'll have you see the spell then. We get injured people fairly often, so I don't think it will be a problem. That sounds good. Oh, but then Leah and Elna won't be able to see it. Alan, we've seen the heal spell before, so we don't need to see it again. Oh, really? In that case, let's go with that plan. When does the course start? We can start as early as tomorrow if you like. Then let's start tomorrow, please. What time? Let's make it 8 o'clock. Got it. By the way, I haven't paid yet. My apologies. I handed over 5 gold coins for the course fee and 1 large silver coin for the request fee. Indeed, and I had forgotten about your guild card. You're an adventurer, aren't you, Alan? Could I borrow your guild card? I took the Adventurer's Guild card from my pocket and handed it to the chief, who took it into the back room. After about 3 minutes, she returned and handed the card back. On the reverse side of my Adventurer's Guild card, there was a new Magic Guild mark and an inscription. Just like the Adventurer's Guild side, it was stamped with a registration number, my name, the date, and B rank. This is great. It saves me from having to carry two. But how did you do that so quickly? There's a magic tool for that. What happens if my rank changes, for example? We can erase the old inscription and rewrite it. It's quite a remarkable magic tool, the culmination of the Magic Guild's technology, you see. That's amazing. I'd love to see it sometime. Unfortunately, for forgery prevention reasons, the rules forbid us from showing that magic tool to anyone. I see. That's a shame. Well then, I'll be waiting for you tomorrow. I look forward to it. We left the Magic Guild and started walking back to the inn. Alan, you gave me a scare back there when you hit the target with water. You mean water isn't supposed to be like that? Not at all. Normally, it just produces water, said Elna. Is that so? Well, she told me to hit the target. It'll be fine. Anyway, I need to write down those recipes for Barth, so I need some paper and writing tools. I might need them for the course, too. Do you mind if we stop by Mr. Tauss's shop? Of course not. When we went to Tauss's general store, Jonas was there. Mr. Allen, welcome. What can I get for you today? I'd like to buy some writing tools and paper. Do you have any? Of course. They're on this shelf right here. On the shelf he pointed to were various types of quill pens and different sizes of paper. Do you have any recommendations? In that case, I think you'll like this one. You can put the ink inside the pen itself. It's thicker than a normal quill and takes some getting used to, but it's very convenient since you don't have to dip it in an inkwell every time you write. It's a new product. I use one myself. Of course, you still have the trouble of refilling it when the ink runs out. This is perfect. Quills were too thin for me, and I found it incredibly annoying to have to dip them in an inkwell so often. I'll take this, and a refill for the ink, and 100 sheets of this size paper. The pen and ink cost 500 guinea, and the paper was another 500, so 5 guinea per sheet. I'd expected as much, but that's still expensive. We thanked Jonas and left the store. Since it was just noon, we decided to have lunch at Tully's Place, the restaurant we went to the other day. It seemed their menu was a daily special, as they served something different from last time, and it was also delicious. As always, the portions were generous, and Clelia was very satisfied. This afternoon, I'm going with Barth to buy supplies. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like.